The hum of the ship was constant, a low, steady vibration that became part of every breath I took. Out here, in the empty stretch between star systems, silence was more terrifying than noise. The hum meant the Erebus was alive, still functioning, still keeping me alive. I hadn't spoken to another living being in 53 days. After the communications array failed, I'd been trying to reroute power to send a distress signal, but deep space didn't care about your struggles. The Erebus drifted slowly, wounded, forgotten, and I drifted with it. I was half asleep that night when I heard it. A faint hiss, like air escaping from the vents. Then a soft click. Something metallic slid open near the aft section. I sat up, heart pounding. The cabin lights flickered once, twice, then stabilized to a dim blue. My breath fogged slightly. The temperature had dropped, which shouldn't have happened. Life support was balanced, perfectly calibrated. And I heard the footsteps. Measured. Not mechanical, organic. "Who's there?" I called out, my voice echoing slightly in the narrow corridor. No response. Just that slow rhythm of footsteps growing closer, each one making the hair on my arms stand on end. Then a shadow passed across the light in the doorway. Graceful. Wrong in shape, too fluid for human. I froze as a figure stepped inside. She was luminous. That's the only word I could think of. Her skin shimmered faintly, a translucent silver blue that caught the cabin lights and fractured them like crystal. Her eyes glowed faintly violet, and her hair, or what resembled it, floated slightly as if underwater. She looked at me with curiosity. Then, in a voice that didn't belong to any translator, she spoke. "Can you clean me, human?" I blinked, certain I was dreaming. "I what?" She tilted her head, expression unreadable. "Your records say humans are skilled in purification rituals. I require cleansing." I rubbed my eyes, trying to process the absurdity. "You broke into my ship at midnight, to ask me for a shower?" She stepped closer. "Not water. Not as you understand it." Her tone was calm but carried an underlying weight, something ancient, commanding. "My form is deteriorating. Your vessel's containment field can stabilize it. But I cannot operate your machines." I stared, torn between disbelief and fascination. "Who or what are you?" Her violet eyes met mine, and for a brief second, I saw something behind them. Galaxies swirling, stars dying, an endless history compressed into her gaze. "My name cannot be spoken in your tongue. But your records would classify me as a Velithra." Velithra. The name stirred something in my memory. A myth from deep space transmissions. Supposedly an extinct species. Beings of plasma and bioenergy that fed off starlight. Some said they were the original colonizers of the void, drifting long before humans learned to walk. "You're supposed to be extinct," I said. She gave a faint smile, the kind that made it hard to tell if she was amused or sad. "Many things thought extinct simply learned to hide." The request. She stood there, patient, her glow dimming slightly, almost like a candle flickering in wind. "If I don't cleanse as you call it," she said softly, "I will unravel. My form will collapse. Please." Her tone, no longer commanding but vulnerable, disarmed me completely. I nodded slowly. "Fine. Will help. But you'll need to explain what I'm doing." Her lips curved faintly, the closest thing to relief I'd seen in weeks. "Your containment field generator. Channel it through your cryofiltration array. I will enter the chamber. You stabilize my energy pattern." She walked past me, graceful, silent, like watching light bend around air. As she passed, I felt a warmth radiate from her. Not like heat but a vibration, deep and strange, resonating with something inside me. Cleansing. The cryobay glowed dimly as I rerouted power. I'd modified the generator before, but never like this. If I overcharged it, it could fry her or me. She stepped into the center of the chamber, her form dimming to near transparency. "Now," she said. "Activate." I hesitated, hand on the control. "What happens if I get this wrong?" Her eyes softened. "Then you will watch a star die." I swallowed hard and flipped the switch. Energy surged through the bay. Light erupted, blinding white and deep blue. She screamed, not in pain but something more primal, a resonant cry that shook my bones. Her body began to pulse with energy, waves of brilliance sweeping outward. The ship's systems flickered. Alarms blared. I tried to hold the controls steady. "Containment field at 60%, 70. I muttered. Her voice cut through the chaos. "More. Push it higher. 80% and the coils will melt." "Do it," she demanded. I slammed the controls. The chamber exploded with light, and then, silence. I blinked, vision hazy. The air smelled of ozone and something sweet, alien. She stood there, radiant, solid, beautiful in an impossible way. The cracks in her skin were gone. Her glow was steady. She looked at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. Gratitude and curiosity. "You did it," I breathed. "You're stabilized." She took a step forward. "You risked your vessel. Your life." I shrugged, trying to mask the tremor in my voice. "You asked nicely." She tilted her head again, studying me. "You are a strange species." "Yeah," I muttered. "We get that a lot." The connection. Over the next hours, she lingered in my ship, exploring like a silent observer. She was fascinated by human objects, the flickering console lights, the old photos taped to my bunk, even the way I made coffee. At one point, she touched a mug, and the ceramic melted slightly under her fingers. She frowned. "Fragile." "Yeah," I said, watching her. "So are we." She looked at me then, and something passed between us, an understanding that went beyond words. Later, as I worked on repairing the comms array, she appeared beside me again. "You were dreaming," she said softly. And blinked. "What?" "When I entered your quarters, you were half asleep. You said a name. Mira." I hesitated. "Someone I lost." She nodded slowly. "A mate. A friend," I said quietly. "One I couldn't save." There was silence, the kind that didn't feel empty, just heavy with understanding. Finally she said, "In my kind's memory, loss is a song that never fades. We sing to it, so it does not consume us." "That's beautiful," I said. She looked at me with faint amusement. "You humans use beauty to hide pain." I smiled slightly. "You're not wrong." The revelation. Days passed. The comms array was still dead, but I didn't feel as alone anymore. The alien, she never slept, never ate. She simply existed, always watching, always curious. But something began to change. The lights flickered more often. The air grew colder. And her glow began to dim again. "What's happening to you?" I asked. Her voice was faint now. "My form cannot exist in your gravity for long. The ritual only delayed it." I clenched my fists. "There must be something else I can do." She hesitated, eyes meeting mine. "There is one way. But it will bind us. Permanently." "Bind us? How?" She stepped closer. The glow of her body reflected in my eyes. "I would draw energy from you. Life force, as you call it. Connection. Mutual symbiosis. Like feeding. Not as you understand it. You would not die, but you would never be the same."